Do you need a lawyer in property purchase? Isn't it ironic that in a country where property disputes top the list of consumer litigations, the legal due diligence in property transactions is often neglected? Let's take a look at when and why do you need a lawyer in property purchase. And yes, always remember that your lawyer is your representative, unlike broker who represents both sides in India. Actually, he represents his own interest, whichever side offers him more, and we all know who offers him a better reward. Take the case of a person who bought an apartment in Greater Noida West through a trusted property agent. However, the agent that was representing both the builder and the buyer was himself in the dark about the legal land title and approvals of the project. One building that collapsed in Shaveri had woken up the government agency and the entire project was found to be illegal. Today, he along with many others is fighting a legal battle and the builder has already been booked. This person is one among the 1500 odd buyers who believed since the bank has financed the project and registries have been done, the project is legally safe to invest. Shaveri building collapse that made headlines in 2019 might be an extreme and isolated case, but across the country, the ever-increasing number of consumer cases and civil suits clearly point out that the home buyers go to the lawyer only when the damage has already been done. The buyers tend to trust and obviously pay more to the property brokers than the lawyers. Some countries have specific laws that mandate the presence of an attorney at specific points in the property purchase to help the buyers understand legalities and hence would avoid future litigation. There is a clear mandate against the conflict of interest, and a real estate attorney can only represent the buyer or the seller. In India, home buyers are legally not required to hire an attorney to buy a property or even sell a property. Moreover, since the lawyers can't advertise, finding a real estate attorney is also challenging. There are two reasons why an average home buyer in this country does not hire a lawyer in property purchase. One is the lack of education on the importance of due diligence, and secondly, the property prices compared to the income level are way higher for an average buyer to afford an additional cost. When do you need a lawyer? This is the most pertinent question. When you need to get the land titles and approvals vetted, when you don't know the property to be purchased is already mortgaged, when you don't understand the bulky documents given to sign when you have to sign documents of mortgages with the financial institutions, when you have points of conflict or disagreement with the other party, when you are supposed to give consent satisfaction report for possession and you are not even satisfied, when you are forced to sign one-sided maintenance agreement. What is the expert view on this? I have spoken to many lawyers who maintain that due diligence is required at three different stages: pre-purchase, during the purchase, and even after the purchase. In pre-purchase, a buyer needs to know whether the builder has the land lease and approvals. Next stage is during the purchase, what all documents are getting signed by him. Builders and the brokers make the buyer sign an end number of documents, creating a sense of urgency, like rates being revised from tomorrow or the inventory being in short supply. You need to know what all papers you are signing. In all probability, you would be signing an allotment letter, also being called booking form or agreement for sale, which is on a stamp paper. When you sign those papers, it means you have given your consent, and hence retracting is a tough job. Even during the purchase, you need to be careful with what all papers you are signing. Whom are you paying, builder or the broker? After the purchase until the time you get the handover of the property, issues like delayed timelines, layout as per the approvals, etc., are to be checked. Even the smallest of real estate deal involves a good amount of money. In fact, a purchase of a house for most of us Indians is once in a lifetime purchase. While we ask many questions when we purchase even a, say for instance, washing machine, we simply trust a mediator and believe in whatever the seller dishes out in the name of title clear documents. Real estate purchase is a serious business and has complicated documentations. Therefore, many believe that once you identify a property, first thing that you should do even before making any commitment, booking, advance, is to engage a professional in doing proper or at least preliminary diligence, even if it's a RERA registered property or even from a reputed builder. A legal professional should be associated throughout the transaction. Many ask what purpose a lawyer will serve. A real estate lawyer will do thorough check of land title and approvals. A real estate lawyer will make sure the contract is not unfair. He will help you identify any contingency you may have overlooked. The more complex the transaction, the more likely you are to benefit with the lawyer's expertise. Even with self-help window like RERA, a lawyer will be better counter the legal team of the builder. Make the builder legally liable if the project is delayed or commitments are not fulfilled. In most cases, a legal due diligence in advance saves you from future litigation. Another oft repeated question is whether self-help or a lawyer. A home buyer can appear on his own in consumer commission or RERA, and it is not compulsory to have a lawyer. The court will never say that you have to have a lawyer. For example, RERA is a self-help portal where one can register online and give the factual details over there. But the builder will always come to RERA with a lawyer who will know the provisions and the gray area of the law and would be well equipped to argue against the buyer's interest. For example, the builder's lawyer will say before RERA that once the project has already been delayed by say 3 years, the buyer should wait for another 6 months to get the possession. It's only your lawyer who will say that as per the RERA Act, I have the right to claim full refund with interest and I do not want to wait anymore. There is no provision in the RERA Act to make a buyer bet more. A lawyer will always help with these small details. A person shares his experience as to how the presence of a lawyer saved him before the RERA. The builder refuted his claims before the RERA that he suffered losses with project delays. The argument of the builder was that the buyer has another house to live and he is just an investor who sold his another property to buy this one. Thus, the buyer does not stand as a bona fide end user who suffered with project delays. The lawyer confronted the builder saying that RERA does not have any provision to differentiate between the buyers as end user and investor. The term used in RERA for all the buyers is allotee, and the builder has no legal grounds to deny the delay penalty. It was further argued by the home buyer's lawyer that even if even though the buyer has not borrowed it with bank, where the applicable provision is to give penalty at the rate of MCLR plus 1%, the buyer's loss has been with respect to the opportunity cost of the cash that he has invested. Had the buyer invested the same amount in other investment product, he would have got a better return by now. This person got the judgment in his favor just because he had a lawyer with him. It would be safe to say that the legal diligence in India is not so popular as most believe, that it is unnecessary and an additional expense. Reliance is more on the mediators representing both the buyer and the seller, and hence prone to mislead. But legal lacuna in documentation, title or otherwise leads to a lot of complications and puts the whole of investment at risk. A real estate attorney reviews sales contract and protect buyers' interests.